Welcome to Rewatch. We're on season one. There was only one season of Droids. So the Droids cartoon series, episode two from 1985. This one is called Escape into Terror. What an awesome title, right? In fact, the title of the episode is at the beginning of each cartoon, which I love. That's old school there. Um, anyway, the gang needs a new hyperdrive because the droids hysterically lost the hyperdrive out in space while they were trying to make repairs to the ship. Now, usually anyone would be mad at those droids, right? Jettison them out into space too, right, for their mistake. But this is a kid cartoon, and the gang goes, "Don't worry about it, R2 or C3PO. We'll just go to the next planet and pick up a hyperdrive." Yeah, because those things are cheap. Again, kiddie cartoon. I get it. Meanwhile, Tig is on the look for them. He wants revenge. And of course, now his dad, Size, is there to ensure that they capture the gang and those two meddlesome droids as well. In fact, when they're in a hangar bay, I think, C3PO and R2D2 see the Froms coming toward them. And this is unintentionally hilarious. I don't think this was meant to be a gag, but C3PO goes, "Quick, R2, look busy." And then we see the Froms, the father-son, are having an argument. They stop in front of R2D2 and C3PO and continue on with the argument, not looking at them, just talking to one another. What are R2 and what's R2 and C3PO doing? Nothing. They're just staring there, just deadpanning it. That is hilarious. I don't think that was the intention to make a joke right then and there. I don't think the cartoon is that witty, but I laughed. I said, "What?" He said, because I had to rewind it. He said, "Quick, R2, look busy." They don't look busy at all. They look very conspicuous. It reminds me of when, if anyone's seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, when Pee-wee's just staring at the camera during his fake movie shooting at the end of the movie. That just cracked me up for some reason. I really loved it. Anyway, so they meet the gang meets Kay's mother, who happens to be a rebel agent, and she is not for the rebellion though. She is rebelling against the Froms because the Froms are working on this super spaceship that's supposed to, put the other crime syndicates under their thumb, and they'll be the king, crime lords in the galaxy. I get it. Small victories, whatever. But remember, Jordan Fall, they want to go to the races and race the White Witch. Why would they want to help out a rebellion on a local planet? There's no reason. She didn't say you can have a hyperdrive. At least I don't think she does. Maybe that's why they do it. I can't remember. But either way, and I just saw it just right now. But either way, they say, we'll help. And so Fall and Kay go undercover. They go in these little cargo bins. The droids sneak them on the ship. And by the way, the design, the look of droids, the ships, the fighters, they're all really cool. And that's because they came from George Lucas. George Lucas opened up Lucasfilm Vault and said, "Hey, here's all my ideas I never used." And so a lot of the ship designs, a lot of the stuff that we're going to hear about, because they mention a lot of things that are mentioned in the prequels. And they have certain things that are mentioned in the prequels too. You're thinking, whoa, Droid, George Lucas lifted a bunch of this stuff off the Droids cartoon. No. The makers of Droids got to see all of George Lucas's ideas and use those for Droids. If you're someone who loves the prequels, I think you will find several surprises when looking at the Droids cartoon series. Because there's just a lot of things that, of course, George will later go back over his scrapbook and go, okay, I'm going to bring this into the movie. But we already saw that in Droids first. It's so cool. Anyway, so they steal the Trigon. That first they're going to blow it up with a thermal detonator. It was the whole plan. But they steal the ship called the Trigon and blast away with it. And again, they send these fighters that kind of look like Jedi starfighters from Clone Wars a little bit. It's so interesting. Like you can see that the uniqueness of all the ships came from the mind of George Lucas. I don't think anyone else could have been that creative because it was the 80s back then. They would have made some 80s-esque one. And you say, well, Matt, probably they were riffing off of what they saw from Star Wars. True, but now that I know that they've seen George Lucas's files, they were probably going off of actual designs from fighters and ships they'd seen before, because everything looks so unique. That's another thing. I talk about looks. Tales of Jedi had a unique look. The comic book did. Droids has a unique look for its time, and I really enjoyed that. But anyway, I digress once again. What'd you think of episode 2 from Droids? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time on Rewatch.